So some of you might recognize that I've created a little project. It's only got 3 rows in it, but I've also created like a Gantt chart, which shows me the timeline of my project as well. Now I'm here doing it on a Mac, but actually it works exactly the same way in Windows. So if you're doing this on Windows, don't worry about it. You can follow through on this as well. Now the great thing about doing this is that if I make a change over here, such as the duration, you'll see it's got over here the date. It's 11th of February 2022 is the one that it's linking to. And you'll also notice across over here that when I change the duration, it's going to change. So I'm kind of assuming these are days here. Let me press 2 and enter, and you'll see the chart changes and everything moves with it. And the date has changed here because it's just a formula. If I click on that, you'll see it's got C5 plus E5. There's C5, that's the starting date, and that is E5, the duration. So you'll notice I've got a lead time here, and basically that represents how much time between a task finishing and the next one starting. So these are all happening as one finishes, the next one starts. So everything here is in days. So I'm going to assume that there is 1 day lead time here. So I'm going to put in 1, and you'll see it's now got a gap in there. If you want them to overlap, it's just a negative number. So if I wanted them to overlap by 1 day, I can put in -1, and you can see it overlap over here. So I've also got this column here, days since start. Okay, so that's 1 day since that started, and that's based on the duration and the lead time. And also I've got this one here as well. And you can see it. If I click here, you can see the formula. Let me go into formulas, and I'm just going to put some arrows in using my trace precedence. It's basically adding this cell to this cell, and in this case subtracting that number there. But basically they're all adding up to form this one here. Let's just remove those arrows. So let me show you how I created this. I'm going to go to the other sheet down the bottom here called Project Data, although really it's the same as the Gantt chart one. So I've got the date here. I can automatically get it to put in the following dates here. So I can do that by just going equals that date plus the duration. And also I want it to add my lead time, which is that one there. Let me press enter, and it puts it in. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to right click when I copy it because I don't want the formatting to mess up the border down the bottom, and I can fill without formatting. So I've now got my days since start here, and that is going to be very similar. But if I was to format it as a date, when I go to create the chart, it kind of doesn't do a very good job of it. And I'll get to show you that at the end. So let's just do this. I'm going to go equals that plus that, which is the duration, and my lead time. Okay, and I'm going to right click, drag it down. So normally you do left click. Actually, let's just do the left click. So I click down, and what happens is, because it copied with the formatting, it's got rid of that border there. So let's undo that. And now if I right click and drag down, I get my fill with formatting. And there we go, it hasn't messed that up. So there we have it. So what I want to do now is create my chart. And what I'm going to do is highlight that block there. On Windows, hold down Control. On a Mac, hold down Command. And you now want to select the days since start and duration. I'm going to go to Insert at the top here. I'm going to go over to where it says Column. That's that little icon there. But actually it's got bar charts in there, which is what I want. So let's click on it. There's a bar chart. It is this stacked bar chart that I want. Not this one with the percentage, but this one here. So I'm going to select that. I could do a 3D version. You can experiment around with this, but I think a 2D bar chart is absolutely fine for this. And there it is. And it's popped it down here. So I'm just going to move it up. Maybe make it a little bit longer there. But we need to do some formatting here to make it work just right. And by the way, over here, I might just want to line these up. So what I'm going to do is just highlight that. I've highlighted the rows, make them a little bit bigger, and kind of lines up. You can tweak that around or change the size of the chart to make it fit just right. So back on the other one, you just had this part of the bar. What I'm going to do is just click on one of these bars on this segment here. So I choose that, and you can see all the others are selected as well. You can right click, Format Data Series. I'm going to go to my little option here for line and fill and choose no fill. And it looks like it's gone. By the way, a lot of these options, if I click on it, are available up at the top under Format. You'll see I've got Shape Fill, and I could have changed the color there. Oh, why not? Why not keep it that color? So these options are available at the top as well. I like right clicking. Now these are the wrong way around here, so we need to reverse the order. And the way to do that is to click and then right click and choose Format Axis. And over here in Axis Position, you can choose Categories in Reverse Order. And there you have it. So over here on my chart, there are a few things that I don't necessarily need. One is the chart title, so let's click on that and delete. So you can use backspace or delete for that. And I'm going to backspace here as well. Now that's actually changed the chart a little bit, so I'd like to just maybe adjust that a bit so that that's all lined up. And you could spend more time doing that and getting it just right. And as you saw, I changed the row heights and things like that. Going across the top, you'll see it's got the days. But actually, that might look better if it was actually the dates. Now, I've got the dates here, so why didn't I just use those? Because actually, they represent the same thing. So in a moment, I'm going to show you what happens when you try and do that with this chart. So what I'm going to do, simply type in my start date. So when I type that in, it's now come up with these numbers 44,604 and 44,609. So basically, behind the scenes, a date is just a number that's been converted. And it takes the date from the 1st of January 1900. So that's how many days there have been since then. To make it look right, all I've got to do is format it. Let me just click on this one. I'll show you what I mean. If I go over here to General, that's the number it comes up with. But we don't know what 44,600 is from the 1st of January 1900. We need to see it in a date format. Excel needs to see it as a number so it can use it for calculations. Let's just put it back to a short date. I can then easily copy that. I can just click on my Format Painter here and then click and drag over these. And it looks surprisingly the same as these. And if I was to change the duration here, they would all change accordingly. So now that I've changed the dates here, you can see on the axis across the top, it's showing the date there rather than an actual number instead. So you can see it starting here from the 8th. We could change this timing of where it starts from. I can click on it, right click, and go to Format Axis, and I could make it 44,600, wasn't it? So let me change that, and it's moved it across. Right, let's close that. So there you have it. That's how it works. So why didn't I just use the dates here? Let me just show you. I'm going to create another chart. Let's just highlight this. I'm going to then select the other two columns. Let me go to Insert, go to 2D bar stacked bar chart, and look at that. It's not done it. It's not done it as a stacked bar chart at all. And in fact, what it's done is it's picked up these over here and put them together. It's not worked very well. And when I go into select data and try and fix it, it just becomes a complete mess. So I find, so let me get rid of that. I can also show you if I tried it like this by selecting these. Back to Insert, 2D bar stack chart, did the same thing. And it's, even though I kind of selected over here at one point, it's still selected that. So what I do is I do it day since start. I don't format it as a date, and I use these figures here, and that just seems to work that much better. I can then go and add more rows. I probably should have had more rows to start with, and then I could have created my chart accordingly. But the nice thing is, as I said, you can now do things like put in lead times and so on, and you can see it graphically changing. You could drag this out. Now, if you're really getting into projects, you might actually find that Microsoft Project, which is dedicated to doing this kind of thing, actually might work a lot better for you, and you can do so much more. But this is really quite useful because it does show you your timeline, which works really, really well. So there you go. That's how you can create a project with a Gantt chart showing you your timeline in Excel. If you do like this, please do like, share and subscribe. And as you may be aware, I have a lot more on my YouTube channel. Lots on Excel, Word, PowerPoint, video photography, even things to do with your iPhone and iPad. Thanks for watching and stay safe.